We are back on the Plus Money Podcast, your home for the best soccer bets in 15 minutes or less. I'm Andrew Passaro. He's Ani Sridhar. It's been a slow few days. We had a full weekend of cup games last weekend. We are back to club football this weekend. It is, however, a shortened EPL weekend. They're doing a little half and half break to give teams an opportunity to recharge as we push on to the second half of the season. But we do have a big one as Tottenham will travel to Old Trafford. Be careful with your bets this weekend. Check those rosters, check those lineups. You have two international tournaments that are kicking off this weekend. You've got the AFCON, you've got the Asia Cup. So there are big name players not on your favorite squad. So be careful with your bets. Double check your rosters. Ani, it's good to have you back on the pod. Follow him at Ani323, at Andrew Passaro, at the Plus Money Pod. Let's get into it. We got Burnley, we got Luton. It's a nice Friday afternoon of footy. I think we've got Bayern Munich playing as well. I'm going to start. I got three plays I like for this one. I do like the both teams scoring over 2.5 at plus 120. I think the number is good there for Luton double chance minus 125, and the money line is plus 290, which is a very fun number. And I don't hate at plus 235 Luton team total over 1.5. They've scored in 4 straight EPL matches. You're coming up against a terrible defense in Burnley. The idea of them getting 2, I don't think is crazy. I know you've picks on this one. What do you think of a huge relegation 6-pointer to start off the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a game where both these squads are just going to go for it because they know that these 3 points could be the deciding factor if they get relegated or not this year. Luton have been playing a lot better at home recently, or else if this was a home game for Luton, I would probably be taking their money line, to be honest with you. But I'm going to stay away from that. But I do like the both teams to score, and I'm going to take that. It's a little steep. It's at minus 128. Maybe you can pair that with the like a minus 300 money line you like this weekend to get better odds on that. But that is I do really like that bet for this game.
That's a great number for, like you said. I mean, I think the over, anytime you have a relegation 6-pointer, the over 3.5 is in play, in my opinion. I didn't even look at it,
All right,
but
over
it,
3.5 is, let's see. I like the 2.5. I didn't want to go crazy because it is still two bottom offensive teams and bottom defensive teams in the league. So hopefully the bottom defense shows out more than the bottom offense. But I'm gonna assume it's probably like plus 230. Wouldn't mind a sprinkle on that, to be honest.
I mean, look, if you're getting both teams to score and over 2.5 at plus 120,
No,
it's
that's
got to be.
minus one to I have just both teams to score. I didn't get
That's what I'm
that.
saying.
Yeah,
You add the
yeah,
over 2.5, it gets you to
yeah.
plus 120. The 3.5 has
That's
to be a decent number.
yeah.
And like I said, in a game that could get out of hand Friday night under the lights, we're gonna jump to Sunday because the two Saturday games in the Prem kind of tough odds. You got Manchester City taking on Newcastle. Newcastle have been all over the place in terms of form. And then what is it? Chelsea the 7:30 game on Saturday?
Chelsea hosting Fulham, two teams that just played in the midweek, two teams that just lost in the midweek.
Yeah, so not sure what to go there, and a Derby game nonetheless. So
Yes,
I have
yes.
no idea where to go in that one. So I do have things I liked in Everton Villa Sunday morning, 9 a.m. And again, I like the both teams to score over 2.5 here, minus 115. Villa have been all over the place. I can't figure them out. They should win. Their money line's a plus number. I wouldn't hate that play, but I could also kind of see Everton doing something weird in this one. Villa team total over 1.5 is plus 112. And Villa have scored twice in 3 out of their last 4 EPL matches. They only scored once at Middlesbrough. Um, but Villa win this game, they're going equal on points with Liverpool to go top of the Premier League title or top of the table. So this, if I'm Villa, knowing Liverpool aren't playing, I'm circling this one and saying this is a must win. It's against an Everton side that have been kind of up and down. Um, I would circle this as a must win if I'm Villa, but their road form, we've talked about it. It's not a lock. I know you've picked. What do you like?
Yeah, I mean, I like the both teams to score on the over 2.5 in this actually. Villa have struggled to keep clean sheets on the road this year. They've struggled to keep clean sheets in general, even at home, but more especially on the road. I think there's only three teams that have failed to score against Villa at home. That's Chelsea, who got a red card, Middlesbrough in the FA Cup recently, and I think it was like Zielinski in the Europa Conference League. So I like Everton did get shut out 4-0 to this team. I think it was like game week 1 or 2 in the season. But this is a very different Everton team from the one we got at the beginning of the year. They're not going to be missing too many pieces here in the due to AFCON and Asia Cup. I like the both teams to score and the 2.5, and you can get that at -112. It's a pretty sweet number. So that's my play for that game.
Let's jump to Man United Tottenham, the big one of this little tie. Big names missing. Heung-min Son off at the Asia Cup, and Onana will be gone as well for Manchester United. I don't really know how much of a loss that is for them, but
I
he's
was gonna
not
say
there.
that might be an upgrade, to be honest.
Here's my thing, though. Can you name Manchester United's backup goalkeeper? Because I can't.
I cannot. No.
Yeah, I know he's like
Let's
Turkish
see.
and young. It's not like an established EPL name that we've really heard of, and which is funny for a team that struggled so much with the goalkeeping department. You would have thought they would have rotated keeper, but they've just had to play Onana through the whole situation. Um, so I don't know how that affects them. And they also do have one of their midfielders is gone for AFCON as well. Why can I not think of his name? He used to play at Fiorentina and used to play and plays for Morocco. I'm on the Manchester United.
Amrabat.
Thank
It's
you.
Sofiane
Thank
Amrabat.
you.
There we go.
Thank
There we
you.
go.
Wow, that was a bad brain fart from us. Let's get to the picks because Tottenham money line's plus 200.
I'm on the other side of you. I'm on the other
Really?
side. Yeah,
I
I don't know what this team's gonna look like without Son. That's the problem here, right?
I
They've been
don't look, I
cooking.
don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. Um my thing is just that I don't trust Manchester United. I'm not, I don't know if I'm going to take the money line, but draw no bet is plus 128. That's a good enough number with the insurance for me. I don't know. I think this one's going to come down to coaching, and frankly, I'm taking Ange. Um, I don't know if Tottenham have center backs though. I don't remember if Christian Romero is back from that suspension or injury or whatever the heck he pulled out. But
Van de Ven is back. He was on the bench for Tottenham in their FA Cup fixture last weekend. So could see him starting this week against United, which would be a big boost for them. They really missed him there on the back line. Alte Bayindir is the goalkeeper for United. I have United money line plus 115. I just think it's a value when you get a team that I know they haven't been great this year, haven't been good in the last 2 years, really, but you get United at home against a Tottenham team that we don't know what they're going to look like without Son. That's not just their best player, but also captain. So it's going to be very interesting. I think a bet that I'm going to like that I haven't looked at, but now that we talked about this, um, one of the best shot stoppers in the Premier League is Vicario. So this could be a big saves game for him. And I don't think it's out yet, but taking the over on how many saves he's going to have might not be a bad prop in this contest.
another one I would throw out there is I think Pedro Porro shot on target is if it's a plus number, you have to take it. He's very quietly. I mean, I think you could maybe say best right back in the division because Trent isn't purely playing right back right now. Like
And
he's
James hasn't played at all pretty much all year.
exactly.
And Trippier's been just, I mean, to be quite
Yeah.
frank, ass for the past 2 months. So
Yeah. Yeah. Pedro Porro scored that worldie to get them through against Burnley.
racking up the assists too. Like he's
Yeah.
fully on that fullback train right now.
I mean, look, this was the team that they ran out against Burnley, and if you say Van de Ven's back, I feel better about it. It's Vicario, Porro, Royale, Davies, and Udogi, Skip Bentaker, Kubileski, Lo Celso, Johnson, Richarlison. We've seen worse teams go to Old Trafford and win. That's my one thing.
They
But
just made two signings too. Timo
exact,
Werner
yep,
and
team.
forget the other
This
guy's name.
the
Don
Yeah, he's
Razi.
like a very good left-sided defender from
Yeah.
Genoa.
Yeah.
Bayern tried to hijack the signing late. So you never know. I don't think he'll make a full debut starting
No.
at Old Trafford, but let's jump to Europe because I have three picks. We're both on the same game. Saturday morning, 9:30, Augsburg taking on Bayer Leverkusen. Big one for Leverkusen. They were going to lose Victor Boniface to the AFCON anyways, but he pulled up with an injury. He's not going to be out till mid to late February. I still think this is the lowest I've seen this number in months. Leverkusen in over 2.5 is at minus
Yeah,
105.
that's what I was gonna go. That's what I have too. I put it in. I was like, God, this is value for how Leverkusen's
Exactly.
been playing this year. I mean, even when Boniface doesn't play in their Europa games, like they just still find a way to steamroll. It's crazy. They'll just put, what is it? Patrick Schick, I think, is the backup.
Yeah.
Like they put Schick up top there, and they got Schick and Verts in the midfield. Like their connection's just way too good, and they don't skip a beat even when Boniface isn't there. So yeah, I money line over 2.5 at minus 103 is actually what it is now. So you get a little bit better odds. Yeah, I love it.
I'm jumping to Bilbao because I'm fading a team that I has been was such a money machine for me and then absolutely fell apart, and that was
Sociedad?
Sociedad. They were,
Yeah.
dudes, they were I said it on
They were
streams.
the Leverkusen of La Liga.
Yeah,
It
they
was
were
Sociedad and over 2.5 that was hitting on almost like every single game.
I
Yeah.
said it on streams and I never put the bet in. I'm so mad at myself. I had Sociedad to go through in that group against Inter. And it
Mm.
was plus money. It was like plus 135. Never put the bet in, totally forgot about it. And then I was like looking at futures, waiting for cash. I was like, I wrote this down. I talked about this. I never put it in. But they have four players gone for both AFCON and the Asia Cup. Kubo's gone,
Oh yeah,
Sadiq is gone,
Kubo. That's like their best
Traore's
player.
gone, Ramiro's gone. Those are big pieces. Bilbao will be missing Inaki Williams as he represents Ghana because Spain never called him up and he was eligible to play for either.
Uh,
So Bilbao's not without players. Not they're missing one player. Sociedad have scored 2 goals in their last 5 games. They were held scoreless in 3 straight games. They're going to miss huge players here. Love Bilbao money line plus 100. I think if it's a plus number, maybe taking Sociedad under half a goal in the game is probably a nice play. And then the big one in Serie A this weekend, AC Milan taking on Roma at Milan. Um, Milan money lines plus 115. They were struggling in the Coppa Italia earlier in the day, before we taped this. In fact, they lost to Atalanta. Um, but Roma, 2 players sent off or 2 red cards in that match against Lazio today. Kind of just in a little bit of a rut. I do like Milan plus 115.
yeah, I don't hate that at all. I like all our international picks more than our prem picks, to be honest, this weekend.
Yeah, it's a weird weekend in the Prem, and it's like you just had League Cup, you just had FA Cup. Who's good to go? What's happening? And then you have so many players that are representing the Premier League at AFCON that it's like who's playing what? I mean, I'm thrilled to see the results that Liverpool have gotten in the last couple games. I mean, no Salah, no Endo, and then the other injuries today to Trent, to Szoboszlai, like uh big names not there. Liverpool getting results, but and I do think that Liverpool money to win the league is still in the plus 200 range, which the way that they're playing, I don't think is crazy. Obviously, City's up to a plus number. It's going to be a dogfight down the stretch here for the Premier League. We'll be talking about it every week on the podcast, so follow, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. That helps us out. Until next week, follow us for all of our plays at Andrew Passaro, at Ani323, at the Plus Money Pod. Let's stay positive. Best of luck. See you next week.